about anaerobic threshold and intelligence. Is there any link when it comes to things such as maths equations or problem solving? Well, there's not so much a link between anaerobic threshold and intelligence, but there's quite a strong link between cardiovascular fitness or aerobic fitness and all things to do with the brain, pretty much. There's a massive association with cardiovascular fitness and cognition, especially in young adults. Okay, so this is in the teenage years, which you can appreciate, where there's a lot of growth happening in the brain, and it has been shown that if you're performing exercise during this time, there is a massive improvement in your brain development and growth. In younger children, there's also been shown that it's not so much aerobic fitness, but hand-eye coordination. So, playing ball sports or bat and ball sports, if you've got an improved hand-eye coordination, you've got an improvement in cognition and also social skills, which is really interesting. Believe it or not, you can increase the rate of vocabulary learning, which is learning different words and remembering them and their meanings. You can improve this by 20% if you perform it following intense physical activity. And the link between improved learning and physical activity has been acknowledged in a few countries, and in particular Thailand and South Korea. Now, in Thailand and South Korea, some schools have increased their school day, in some cases up to an hour and a half. And this isn't to do more study, it is to have more physical education at school, because they recognise the improvement that it has in children's learning. Now, this isn't just in children, but you can appreciate that children, obviously their brains are developing at an extremely fast rate, and they're learning a lot of things during this time. So a lot of research has been done around this sensitive time, but it also has a place in adults. So why does exercise improve learning? Well, something you need to become familiar with is a protein called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF for short. Now, this is a protein that's released in the brain and has been termed miracle grow for the brain. To learn, nerves in the brain need to grow and interlink different parts of the brain. And these nervous pathways then need to become stronger so that the firing rate through these pathways becomes second nature, so to speak. And so brain-derived neurotrophic factor actually increases the function of neurons. It encourages growth of neurons and nerves, and it strengthens and protects these nerves against the natural process of cell death. So what this does is helps your brain grow, helps the nervous connections within the brain develop and then strengthen, and then protects them against the natural process of cell death. So BDNF is crucial in the learning process. If you have more of this available during learning or at the time of learning, then you're going to learn quicker and you're going to learn better. And the interesting thing is that 20 to 40 minutes of aerobic exercise has been shown to improve brain-derived neurotrophic factor by around about 30%. So why? Why would exercise increase the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor by 30%? Well, when you think about it, the body is just an amazing system of triggers and responses. For example, if it's cold, what happens? Your body starts to shiver, along with a lot of other physiological responses. What if it's hot? What does your body do? It starts to sweat, again, along with a lot of other physiological factors that we won't dig into today. So, what happens when your body moves? Well, exercise or movement indicates to the body that something important is happening. And not so much now in our modern world, but if you can think back to a long time ago in our evolution, movement signaled something was happening. It was a survival mechanism. We didn't exercise just to exercise to lose weight, to be healthy and be fit. We exercised for survival. We were either escaping from something or we were foraging for food or for water. So it's in the best interest of our survival to learn during those scenarios. For example, learning the lay of the land so you don't get lost, so you can locate food and water again. So if you're being chased, say, by a lion, it pays for the brain to look around and quickly take in the information and imprint it in the brain. So you know once you've escaped from the lion, hopefully, you're able to get home, you don't get lost. Or if you're foraging for food and you find food, how are you able to then go back to that source again in the future? So historically, exercise or movement has indicated to the brain something important is happening for its survival. Now, sedentary behavior or a sedentary state equals safe. You're sitting at home in your cave or in your camp surrounded by your fellow man. It indicates a state of rest. There's not much need for the body to learn when it's sedentary, when it's safe, when it's resting. It's when it's active and it's fighting for its survival that it needs to be able to learn quickly and remember that stuff. So I guess just as a rounding up few statements of this of that question is there a link between exercise and intelligence? And it would seem that there is. It's primarily due with learning and the rate that you can learn. It's most important in teenagers and children to be doing exercise on a regular basis so that that brain-derived neurotropic factor is released within the body and it is there to increase their uptake of information. It can have an effect in older populations as well, in adults. So starting your day off with some aerobic exercise is a great way to learn. Obviously, just going out and exercising isn't going to increase your intelligence on its own. You have to have that learning stimulus coming at you, the new information for your body to learn. Until next time, get out there and train hard, but most importantly, train smart.